Let's hear it for Michael, who has lost over 50 pounds in today's Mega Million Pound Loss game. Lana found a smaller loser scratch-off card laying on the ground, so be sure to nod your head and smile. She has lost considerably less. Hardly worth talking about. At least she is making progress. Well, hello. Welcome to the 91st Dear Lanadee podcast. Yes, I know it's been a while, but so much has been going on. It feels like forever since we've talked. But each time I'd gear up to talk to you, something else would pop up. I am faithful to keeping notes on things, and so I wanted to share with you, but not all of those things are always something you'd want to hear about. In fact, one of my titles was Lanadee and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. No, you don't want to hear about that. I know some people really think who'd want to hear about my life. Sometimes even I don't want to hear about it. But as long as there's a few of you who care and want to know what's going on, then this is the place to do that. So much to catch up on. I have a new computer. Well, it really belongs to Michael. You see, I wanted to surprise him. He's going to be 71 in just a few days, and I wanted to buy him his own laptop. Michael has been so faithful to just sit at the desk and use that computer when he wanted to use it to listen to YouTube and things like that. But, you see, it didn't seem fair for him to have to sit in a hard chair in the kitchen on our linoleum. We don't have a basement, and so every winter that floor is freezing. And I wanted to surprise him. So I bought him a computer, which he gave to me because he said the old one would be fine for him. So we both got a Christmas present. Did you survive Thanksgiving dinner and family gatherings? Or did you eat yourself into a stupor and witness family drama that would be talked about for years? Michael and I stayed home by ourselves. We were invited to join a family gathering, but Michael woke up and did not feel well. So later on, when he did feel a little better, we had a can of SpaghettiOs. I ate a Chipotle black bean burger. Not at all like Thanksgiving. So a few days later, when we were at the store, I secretly picked up the ingredients for a revised version of Thanksgiving. I bought just a few slices of turkey, bought a little bit of dressing, and then I actually bought an apple pie. It was to die for. And yes, it set back both our diets for a few days, but I'm not sorry. It was the best tasting dessert I've had in a long time. Are you gearing up for Christmas yet? I'm half decorated for Christmas. In order to put up a tree, I had to take my comfy chair, and I had to put it in the back room. That's not altogether fun for me. You see, somehow or other I've injured my leg. Always something, isn't it? I'm not sure why, but the back of my leg just aches. It aches so much that the front of my leg aches, and then, well, you get the picture. So I'm using this lovely other chair, but I have to be very careful how I sit on it. Being short is not fun. And to be perfectly honest, I would say my problem is I sat too much. I've changed that, really have. Seeing Michael get up and run around all the time, now that he's feeling better, makes me feel guilty. In fact, yesterday we went shopping. I could barely keep up with him. I'm so thankful for how well Michael feels and proud of him for really changing things around. But I am putting up my decorations back to Christmas. I have a tree in the living room where that chair was, a tree in the back in the dining room. It's a small little tabletop tree, the one I used to put my mother's decorations on. Last year, when I was looking through the Christmas stuff, I found a box that contained just a few ornaments from the tree my mom used to put up, and so I've decorated that. I also have a number of little trees. I have a ceramic tree in my kitchen. That was from my dear mother-in-law, Darlene. And I put that one up and think of her. She was the world's best decorator. Always put a tree up every year, as difficult as it was for her in her 80s. The special thing about her tree were the ornaments, the ones that were made for her years ago. There was this little sock that my brother-in-law John made when he was ill in a hospital in Chicago, and it was the cutest little inch-long sock. Every year I would go to the tree and look for that sock. At this time, I would like to take just a few minutes to pay tribute to a life changer, a person who quite literally changed my life. I am sure there are people in your life that have done that for you. I received word just a few days ago that he passed away, and I have not been able to stop thinking about him or the time I spent with VCY in Milwaukee since. I am truly saddened. Because of him, I learned to walk the walk as a Christian. His name is Vic Eliason. When I was just out of high school, I joined a youth choir, singing for several years with the Teen Life Singers. Then I became a youth group worker and helped with the after-school groups. I then became the bookstore manager for VCY. I loved being there. Vic was my spiritual father. He showed me how to live the life as a Christian. He taught me the importance of discipline. A few years ago, Vic held a reunion for the singers. It was great seeing him at that time. He asked me several times to come back and record a CD of the old hymns, but either he wasn't in the best of health or I was not well enough to do so. At the reunion, we each said a few words, and then I had an opportunity to sing while being accompanied by Vic. Of course, I did not know that that would be the final time. I would like to share this with you. You know, I am glad that there is a heaven and that I can plan on seeing Vic Eliason again. Oh, what a grand time that will be.
I'm Mike Law. I lived in Elkhart, Indiana, and I married Lana Feast in 74. We both met at Central Bible College. It was the day I graduated, I married her, same day. Just later on. We have 2 kids. My daughter, they both live in Missouri, and I was glad to hear that St. Louis won last night. And I love Lana, and she'll have something to say, but we've had a good marriage, and I'm glad to be here, meet everybody. It's taken us a long time to get up here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Well, you know everything about me. Lana, and I just reminiscing. This is wonderful. I think about how I met Vic. It was because I had a crush on a youth pastor. And he needed someone to be in some kind of a talent show. And I had never sung in my life before that, but I learned how to sing. I forgot now what the name of it is, but anyway, I sang a song, and Vic was one of the judges. And I remember the negative score. It said I had no emotion. But I did have an emotion. It was fear. I just wanted to know. But I thank the Lord for VCY, for the Teen Life Singers. I had accepted the Lord by myself at a television set with Billy Graham. But it wasn't until I got involved here and met Vic, he became my spiritual father, and I tell him that, but it's not a lie, it's a truth. And he taught me how to live. And I've taken that with me, and served the Lord. My husband and I were missionaries in Arizona for a few years with the Navajo and Papago Indians. And we were talking just today, I would love full-time ministry again. but every day is full-time ministry if we serve the Lord and we are witness. And I had such wonderful opportunities, and because of this involvement, it helped me get through a very difficult childhood. I just thank the Lord that, family is always...
I remember those recordings when a certain young lady would sing a song, Fill My Cup, Lord. And Lana agreed that she'd sing that for us today. How many think it'd be a good idea? Lana, why don't you come on up there? On this one, the bass comes in, or the bass comes in on the chorus part of it.
You need to know, though, I don't sing Happy Birthday without words.
Like the woman at the well, I was seeking for things that would not satisfy. And then I heard the Spirit speaking, draw from my well that never shall run dry. Fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench this thirsting of my soul. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Here's my cup, fill it up and make me whole. There are millions in this world who are craving the pleasures earthly things afford, but none can match this wondrous treasure that I find in Jesus Christ, my Lord. Fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench this thirsting of my soul. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Here's my cup, fill it up and make me whole.
I don't know if you remember that little song, Learning to Lean. I'm learning to lean on Jesus. Didn't we do that as a group? Let's take the chorus.
Thank you for letting me share that with you. Let's talk about something else. With all the time I've had between podcasts, as I mentioned, I keep notes, and one of the things I wrote down was things I wish I'd known or learned earlier in life, and I thought I'd share them with you. 1. If I'd known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. 2. I'd socialize, but it gets in the way of just being at home and doing what I want. 3. You can't change how people treat you or what they say about you. All you can do is change how you react to it. 4. When a train goes through a tunnel and it gets dark, you don't throw away the ticket and jump off. You sit still and trust the engineer. So trust God today. No matter how dark your situation, God says you are coming out. 5. God has a purpose for your pain, a reason for your struggles, and a gift for your faithfulness. Don't give up. Number 6. This is a thought I had. We really are alone, with the exception of God. And we have to be okay with that, or spend our lifetime looking for love and acceptance. If there are people in our lives which should be able to think about us and not just themselves, then we are truly blessed. Number 7. I have also learned that you cannot measure your self-worth by what others do or do not do when you reach out to them. I used to think that loving and giving to others would entitle me to the same treatment, but I have found that is not always true. Only God is that good. We can look to others for help and comfort, but many times that help will only come from Him, and I have learned that is okay. That is definitely something I wish I had learned earlier. Number 8. A wise saying our parents taught us is, you can't believe everything you hear. Recently I learned a very profound and powerful saying that I wish I had learned years ago, perhaps decades. You can't believe everything that you think. We all have negative self-talk going on in our heads that we choose to believe. Not smart enough, not attractive, no one likes us, I can't do anything right, and so on and so forth. Just because you have chosen to believe such things doesn't make them true. Number 9, on the lighter side, if you love someone, set them free. If you hate someone, set them free. Basically, set everyone free and get a dog. People are stupid. Okay, that was just for humor. Seriously, things happen in life. I found this from my devotional today, and I thought I'd share it with you. I believe it's a realism. That's at least the name of the devotion. A car cannot stay in first gear unless it really isn't going anywhere, and neither can we. You've got to make a shift in order to move upward and onward into the high calling of your life's noble purpose. God has placed eternity in your heart, and earthbound dreams simply cannot satisfy you any longer. It's time you learn how to handle life's surprising turns without stripping your gears. Sometimes to shift us, God has to sift us. His purpose? To remove the chaff and to reveal the gold. Webster defines shift as changing the place, position, or direction of something. Have you experienced any shift lately? A shift in place, in position, or in direction? If so, how are you handling it? Are you blowing a gasket or going with the flow? The wisest man who ever lived, Solomon, wrote, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven." In other words, shift happens. The issue is how we respond when it comes. The unshifted life is untested and therefore unproven. As such, it is unreliable, and for that reason it is often unnoticed and unused. Life is change, and to refuse to change is to refuse to grow. Sometimes the change is unwelcomed, other times it is not, but either way, it comes at us without discrimination and requires that we respond in positive, proactive, and purposeful ways. Those who do so grow stronger, better, wiser, and richer. Those who refuse to embrace change not only fail in life, ultimately they perish. When I was reading through that devotional today, I thought about something that God impressed on my heart. So many times, people in our lives are the reason for pain. It can be someone as young as a child or someone as old as our parent. but nevertheless, they cause us pain. And God showed me that people in our lives can be used as sandpaper. What do I mean by that? In this life, we are tried. That is really the purpose of this life, to give us an opportunity to choose Christ and to serve Him and obey Him. Without trials and temptations, we'd never have to choose, would we? And so we become sandpaper to other people in their lives. Sandpaper. Someone on Facebook wrote about her daughter. She'd put her to bed and asked her if she wanted her sleeping bag zipped or unzipped. Well, the child decided unzipped, and as soon as Mom tucked her in, she wanted to be zipped up again. This was overwhelmingly irritating to this mother. And I said to her that this was her sandpaper opportunity, an opportunity to be patient and loving, and it is hard to have sandpaper applied to our lives, isn't it? But we all have them. There are times when others are sandpaper to us, and time when we are sandpaper to them. Which are you today? It's time to go, and I hope something I've said to you has either made you laugh or helped you to grow. Maybe I'm sandpaper to you today. I don't know. But I've truly enjoyed being with you, and I've already got the next podcast in my heart, so it won't be long before you hear from me again. I'd say I promise, but I break those promises so I can say, Lord willing, you'll hear from me again. Do you have something to say? Write me at dearlanadee@gmail.com. That's dear, Lanadee @gmail.com. Until next time, I remain your friend, Lanadee.